Sanibonani, welcome back to another episode of Hearty Thursdays. Ngumamo Zizwe Sibia, and I am here to fill your hearts with art. In this podcast, we talk about art. We talk to the people that make the art, the people behind the people that make the art, and the people that make the art, but a lot of people don't know that they do. And today we are so excited to have a musician in the house. Our guest, Oscar T, is a singer, songwriter, and producer. Welcome to Hearty Thursdays. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice being here.
It really means a lot. Are you well?
I'm good. I'm having the time of my life. Somewhere's nice here and back home. And yeah, it's just awesome to be here.
I'm glad. The first question all the time. Tell me about you, your background, where you were born.
Wow, okay. My name is Oscar T, full surname Turin. My background, I come from a gospel musical band. All the people in my family from my father's side can sing. I've been singing professionally since the age of 8 years old. And I come from a place called Regenbach, Boksburg. It's in the east end of Johannesburg. Yeah.
I've been there once and
it's I'm sure you enjoyed it.
I really did. I really did a lot. Yeah, cause you know how there's always stigmas and stuff about tribes and just people, even whether it's Zulus, it's even colored. So when I was going to a colored area, I was like, oh my goodness. But when I got there, everyone was just cool. It was just
that's the vibe.
Nice. It was really amazing. It was really
nice.
Amazing.
I'm happy you had a good time.
Yeah, and that was the first time I ever saw you perform, and I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I needed to have you here. What's your earliest memory of being exposed to art?
Wow. My first journey with art and music in a sense was coming out as a rapper before coming out as a singer, and that's where my career started when I was 8 years old.
Oh wow.
So I came out as a rapper first, that was my first passion. I just wanted to rap. And as I came out and as I was exposed to public,
That's dope. Who inspired you to start rapping at that age? Were you already writing bars, or were you just?
I wasn't writing. I got very comfortable and felt very connected to freestyling. So I never used to write down anything on a piece of paper at that time. I would just freestyle, and now that technology is here, when I get the inspiration to freestyle, I do record it on my phone and save it and listen to it at a later stage.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I was interested, you've had such a long and beautiful career in music, so I was interested if you come from a family of art and then of music, and then you just said that you do. My family, my mom's side, they all sing whenever we're together, but I can't sing for shit. So I'm interested, when did you realize that actually I can't do this thing?
Wow. It didn't really hit me until my teens. I think my early teens. Because like I said, that I started out rapping, and eventually I think it was just close to the end of my primary school years, where I was at school and someone that knew my family and knew that we sing and we are musically we sing, all of us, just said, no, why don't you just sing, just sing something to the class. And this was in school, in a class, and I just confidently stood up and I started singing. And I realized that one of my passions and a challenge for me being a singer is being pitch perfect. So that was always something that I've chased as a singer, as listening to myself from the beginning as singing was being pitch perfect.
Oh wow. Yeah. So did you just from there just feel I can do this thing, or did you get any professional music coach or music school?
Wow. I never went to music school. I wouldn't say that I didn't have any guidance, but the guidance came at a stage where I was already almost an adult. So during my teens, my younger years, there was no education about singing. We just used to sing,
Yes.
and that's how we were known for singing, you know. So just used to sing. I like later, it should be like a few years ago, where I actually started working with vocal coaches and learning about music scales and notes. So it's quite new to that, yeah.
Oh wow. What inspired the love for to be a chef?
Oh,
Because that's very different. Music is like, okay, you found the love when you was 8 and you was doing it. Then how did being a chef come about?
it basically it started like I was always the one that was on a chair next to my mom when she was busy cooking that thing. So I always saw a different picture than what she was making, because she was using the ingredients and making what she had an idea in her head, but always when she was making, I always had these ideas of having the same stuff and doing something different with it. That's how the passion actually started generating, you know.
Wow. And
Yeah,
how
inquisitiveness.
how long did you pursue it?
I studied for chef for like 5 years, international diploma, and I worked as a senior chef for a hospital for 3 years. So basically, it was studying for, and then I worked as a chef for 3 years before going into music.
Yeah. And I think being a chef is an art on its own. I actually was having this conversation, I think, a couple of days ago. There was someone who actually loves food and stuff. And they were like, I don't think I'm an artist, but I think I fall in the arts or creative side, because when you like have to come up with dishes and the ideas and all that, it's and I kind of agree. Tell me about East Rising.
Oh, oh my goodness! East Rising was the very first band that I co-started with one of my childhood best friends. So it was basically combined out of a female vocalist, male vocalist, backing, keys, drums, and bass. Yeah, but then we started the band, and the band was actually quite nice. It is like what was needed now in that time in the music circuit. But yeah, East Rising was, we were pursuing a road for original music, but yeah, our road split. You know, it's always a different purpose, always a different destiny for all of us. You know, but we stay connected to each other, always through music. So, and the Lester, the guy that started the band with me, he actually produced and composed one of the songs that's on my latest album. So music will always connect us.
That's so. Tell me, how's the journey of like your solo album Disconnected?
In the beginning, it was quite a lot of excitement, but not a lot of motion. Where, excuse me, the album came out in a time where people were more focused on what's going on with the world. You know, we were in a disaster, in a pandemic, and the world was basically in trying to stay alive at a time. But now that the excitement is quite over from my side, the album is actually picking up.
Yeah.
And it's weird, there's so many radio stations now that's like, you know, paying attention to my music and wanting to know more about my music. So yeah, it's escalating after the release of 2020, and it's 2022 now. So yeah, it's only picking up now.
Yeah, some things take time, but I feel like time is our ally. So I always trust that even if it takes time, it's for a reason. Tell me about the inspirations.
Wow, Inspirations is a gospel band. My family members. The band is just consists out of singers, and we all sing. Like I said, from my father's side. So all my father's kids. We have 5 siblings. All of us can sing, and the band was actually started with my siblings being the faces of the band. I came a little bit later into the band. I think I was like 8 years old or so. then I started coming, but my entry into the band was quite like in a little bit and then out and then in a little bit and then so eventually in my mid teens I was quite committed into the family band.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had a family band or something like that.
Yeah.
Because my dad plays the guitar, I can play the djembe, my mom sings.
There you have
So
a
it's
band.
just,
You do have a band.
why
right
can't
there.
we just start our own
That's the
thing?
thing, and that is so nice. Like to add on that, you know, when you have family members rehearsing and coming together and working on something creative, it's so much easier than meeting up from different parts of the city for rehearsals or getting together to set up. So if you do have that family that can make music together, use it.
I feel like it's too late for me.
Capitalize on it as much as you can.
It's too late. My parents are like in their 60s and I stay in Joburg, they in Mpumalanga, so yeah, it's pretty late.
Never too late to try your own, eh?
I guess
create your own
I guess
band.
I'll call them tonight and be like, guys, you want to start a band? I'll tell you what they say.
Nice.
And how was your experience of being part of the ETV Pop Star and Nubita?
Wow, it was what an experience. I think it was definitely the gateway for me to accept my purpose in life than being a chef or being something totally different. It was the gateway to pursuing my talent and my destiny. Just excuse me. I have a little bit of wine on my my vocal cords, but like I'm saying, it was the gateway for everything, and I knew right there and then that from that moment on there would be nothing else that I would do, whether I do not sing, whether I do not write, but it would always be the music industry.
Oh wow.
Somehow, some way.
Oh yeah. That must have been quite an experience, and like just a little bit more details. How was you have to audition? How was like the whole journey? Just take me through the whole thing.
Wow, yeah. Well, firstly, I said, because when I saw the audition on the TV, I said it as a joke. You know what? I should go and audition for this, but it was as a joke, and then eventually started being in the queue for the audition at 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, and it was the longest queue. Like I joined the queue like around 3 o'clock in the morning, and my audition I eventually got to audition like at 7:45 and not 8 o'clock. Yeah.
That's like 4-5 hours later.
Yeah, but imagine that like it was almost like out of 10,500 hopeful, talented people in South Africa, they only chose 4 people. So that's like in a nutshell to say that the journey was from the auditions to going to living in the pop stars to getting all the rewards, from winning the competition and getting all the exposure. Yeah.
Oh wow.
What a ride, what a journey, what a ride.
Nah?
Yes.
I think it's been a beautiful journey. Tell me about Retro Fever.
Retro Fever was my first production show, my very first production show. Basically that was after the whole pop stars flame kind of died out, and people started spreading the words about us like singers and dancers. So someone called me up and like, we know you sing, but can you dance? I'm like, I'm not a good dancer, but I can give it a shot. To me eventually getting the part in the production as the lead male singer. What a challenge, what a challenge. I think at that moment where it was the break for me, because I was quite huge as a new artist coming into the scene. So there's where I started shedding all the weight and looking at myself as being fit for stage. It cost a lot to be fit stage as well. But yeah, that's where I started learning how to be fit stage.
And how old were you?
How old were I? Whoa, how old were I? Let me think. My first daughter was born, so I could say I was like 22.
Oh yeah, that's still young.
22. Yeah.
What's Aces High?
Aces High was another production show that was at Sun City at the theater the Sunset Resort. There we were contracted to do the show. Uh, it's like a casino themed show, production show, dancers, costumes, everything at Sun City for 6 months. And then they really liked it because the show brought in a lot of revenue. So it got extended for another 3 months and then again for another 3 months. So that like I almost spent like 1 year staying in Sun City. But it's a stuff, it's stuff. But it's okay. I mean, I still had access to the Valley of the Waves and the safaris and taking my children to see the animals walk right like past in front of us. So always look at the brighter side.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like 1 year of a production show in Sunset.
That's nice. And then now, if you had to choose, would you like go back to production shows, or you like being on stage and just perform?
I really like being on stage and performing. It's less distracting for the aura, or for, especially if you know that there's a flame that starts when you perform. There's a sense of emotion starting, and with production shows, I feel that they literally cut short each and every emotion so that you can capture what you need to, and it has to move on. So with live performing and the way that I've ended up being an entertainer in my career, I would rather choose to be where I am now, because the feeling that you generate throughout the songs that you do doesn't just cut off. If you with a live band and you feel the spirit move after your song, you continue. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't take anything away from production shows because they're so well constructed, and you need to have very good discipline to do those shows. So if I had to, I would take some. I would take like a few, like 25%, 30% of that experience, and put it into a live performance. Definitely.
Oh wow! And then tell me about coastal cruises.
Well, yeah, that was like the higher level of production shows, because I started traveling the world doing them, working on a ship, working on a European ship, and being in Europe like basically for 4 or 5 years. Just doing production shows as a production singer. The shows were very top class production shows, and we had to do songs from Italian, Spanish, German to Brazilian, whatever, Portuguese and so forth. So it was quite big shows. It was quite big shows because we were the only ones that got the theaters with the special act. So if there's a special act that comes, they get the theater and we get the theater. So it's only those people that get the theater.
That's dope. Did it give you your first experience of like traveling?
It did. It actually did, because that was going to the ships was my first experience going overseas.
And which was the first city that you guys went to?
I went to Savannah, which is in Italy.
And how was it?
Savannah's quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful, very romantic and very intimate city. So it's very beautiful. Yeah.
That's dope.
And the other cities, yeah.
So, for this question, please answer only about this band, because I'm gonna ask the other ones separately. So please tell me about China and the band Phunk Shui, if I pronounce it right. If wrong, you will correct me, and the whole experience.
Oh, Phunk Shui was my first experience with actually working with international musicians. Because I was working with a lot of international singers and international dancers. But now, when I met the guys of Phunk Shui, I worked with international artists from the UK, from America, from where else? Australia, New Zealand. So that was my first exposure to working with different musicians from different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's HB Wild?
HB Wild was a band that I filled in because one of the singers had to leave China because his visa expired. So while I was doing Phunk Shui, because I was so long in Macau for this band because they kept like extending me. So I was basically in Macau for like a year and 8 months. Then I just stayed in there because they wanted me to stay. So when the saxophone guy, he was friends with HB Wild, the owner or the founder of the band, and they were like, we need a singer with a big repertoire because at that time my repertoire was already growing very fast. And he recommended me, and they asked me if I wanted to extend my contract in Macau, and I was like, I got an offer from Beijing now, and I just left that contract in Macau and I went to Beijing. I actually came home for a week just to do my visa, and then I left for Beijing, and that's where I met HBY.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And then what's Liquid Jam?
Liquid Jam was the second round. So when I went for HB Wild, when I went to fill in for the singer in HB Wild, they asked us to create our own band that can stay for another 6 months. So we started Liquid Jam. Liquid Jam was a completely rough mix of cultures and countries because we had 3 South Africans, we had 2 Americans, we had 2 Australians, and it was quite nice to see like the being abroad with your countrymen because we all act differently when we go overseas, It's not like the same people, we're different when we go overseas. So quite a cool experience to work with my countrymen overseas and in a band with international musicians as well.
So, and how was the experience of just being in China? Because I had a guest here a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about how it's so different from what we see on TV or what social media wants us to see. Like I said, just it's a well-developed country. Like, how was your experience?
Yeah, China is a couple of steps ahead of us, and not taking away the fact that I personally think that China is one of the most beautiful countries ever.
Yeah.
The landscape, the construction, everything that they put up as decoration or symbols is very symbolic and very passionately crafted. So I've spent so many, because I was almost in China for let's say 5 years, and experiencing the Great Wall of China. There's just no end to it, it blows your mind for what they have come out with. And yes, of course, they portray stuff on social media that's true, but that's not in the main cities of China. It's very in the rural or the old Chinese cities where people are not educated enough or haven't pulled through with survival, knowing you can go buy meat at a butcher. They'll just grab their pets or whatever. But those stuff gets portrayed to sabotage the beauty of a country that is really beauty and in such order and such safety. So yeah, that's cool.
I think it happens to like a lot of countries. Like just mainstream media makes us to see just like the bad and the not so cool.
True.
While the whole country is not like that. What is your why?
Why do they do that on social media?
No, what is your why as Oscar T? Like, what is your why? Why do you wake up? Why do you do what you want to do? Why do you keep on going? What is your why?
Oh my goodness, this is like such a funny question. My why is I don't want to miss out.
Yeah?
I don't want to be the person that gets told. I want to be there. I want to grab that opportunity, and that's my why. The excitement of being at the right place at the right time. That's my why. Like I think if that wasn't there, then I would be the laziest person ever.
Yeah.
I'd be super lazy.
Oh, wow.
But I think my why is my inquisitiveness. Being inquisitive and being challenged, especially when I see there's a gap or there's someone doing it and I know I can do it. Then that challenge is there. I don't want to miss out on that. So yeah, that's my why.
I think that's a very cool why. And I do think that the whys should just be that simple. Because when they're that simple, even when you feel demotivated or like, nah, it's easy for it to just come. But if it's like a whole essay of whys, you will not do it.
Yeah, no.
You will not do it.
True.
Do you think musicians are getting the right opportunities, respect, and recognition in South Africa?
Sure, it's a very, very tough question because there's a big variety of people walking around in South Africa and around the music scene. You have your consumers and you have your deliverers, which is your fellow musicians. And it's a very big question to ask. It's a very big question because with each one it's its own. You know, you get people that respect musicians, and then there's people that don't respect musicians. So it's a very, for me, it's kind of a question where I go 50-50. They get it and they don't get it because the majority will give them, or let's say 50% of South Africa would give it to them, and 50% won't. You know, because there's not one musician that would walk away and say in 1 year no one has come and said, "Hey, you've done a great job," or you know, we respect you, we follow you, because there would always be those people. Yes. You know, whether it's South African, whether it's abroad. So it's quite a 50-50 for me on that one.
I agree. And then I want to ask this question. So the reason why I have this podcast now is not just for me or the people in this room or the people that I have as guests, but I come from a very small town with so many talented people, but we don't really have access to information. So like you're mentioning, even I think Nina was asking you, was like, who's your distributor or something like that. So please just give me like a little breakdown of, so you're the musician, but there's this, there's that for your music to even be out there or for you to even have like a successful career. But if someone is like, I can sing and I want to do it for a living, but what do I do? Where do I start?
Wow.
Or what should I know?
I think you should firstly know if you can sing or if you have the talent where you don't live in denial of trying to attempt something that's not for you. So that's the first step. You need to identify what's your talent, and if it's not the music industry, then it's probably something else. And as soon as you know what you are capable of, the world will start accepting you for what you are doing, whether you're putting your stuff out on social media, or you're putting your stuff out on a church or on the street or whatever. If it happens to come to that point where it's for you and people accept it, then go for it. You know, like completely go for it as a creative, because there's as soon as you know what you can do, then the stuff starts opening. Getting a management team, getting people that writes with you, getting people that you connected to abroad, making sure that you have visibility online. People start knowing of you. You know, having a mailing list as an artist these days is so important because a lot of people don't know how relevant an email still is. And how many people you can reach on an email, you know? So a mailing list. And people read their emails. A mailing list is like one of the most important thing of keeping people up to date about yourself. You see, so all those steps come as soon as your purpose is being fulfilled and that's what you want to do and you know you can do it. If you go out there and like, you're a bad performer, bad singer, no one will eventually send you in the right direction. They will just demotivate you. So as soon as you accept the fact that this is what I need to do, you'll have people directing you. You will even be open to knowing what you would want to go for first in your career.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you for that. Tell me about Groove Academy All Stars.
Sure. Groove Academy All Stars is, well, the Groove Academy is like a family on their own. They've come on for years. So what they do is they just swap out musicians, but there's like a bunch of them that stays forever. Very, very young, hip band, up to date, current. So it was quite fun working with him because most of the other bands was quite mature, top 40 bands. You know, we did the mainstream stuff, but also the more later stuff, you know, like the old stuff, because there was quite mature guys in the band. But when Groove Academy came along, the band started doing more hip stuff. The band started being known as more hip. It was also doing a lot of Latin stuff, and yeah, what a nice experience to work with such a bunch of energetic people. Yeah, very nice.
you've had such an interesting journey. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
really hope that the universe has that in store for me as well. Tell me about MX6.
MX6 was a band that we put together for one of the small provinces in China.
Okay.
So this was like almost like a place where my skin color, your skin color was almost like you were in danger. And they put us in this city. It's a very scary place to be. When I was there, it was old school stuff, Chinese food, Chinese noodles, rice noodles, you know, tofu and so yeah, what a challenge though, thinking back about it. But the band was nice. The band was cool. We were also a bunch of mixed continent country band. Also got to work with a lot of Filipinos and Filipinas, great musicians, great singers. So, yeah.
And like, I love food and I love trying out like different cuisines and stuff. And I do, but sometimes I cannot. So how was it for you, like adjusting from South African food to, because you were there for like more than 5 years or about 5 years. So how was it? Like, was it easy to just be like, okay, my taste buds are getting used to this, or was it difficult at first?
It was because I traveled to the main cities. I had access to still all the Western and international foods.
Okay.
There was a Pizza Hut, there was KFC,
Okay.
there was grills, there was still places where you can find the rubs and stuff like that.
Alright.
So for me, experiencing Chinese or Asian cuisine was being a tourist. You know, I tried it out because I heard about it, and the Chinese cuisine is actually so delicious. You know, I find myself even now, we have a Chinese restaurant very close to my place. Constantly, every third day, I'm ordering stuff from them. If it's
I've only had
chow fan, chow mein,
yeah, I've heard that it is very
sushi.
nice. The other stuff I haven't tried though.
There's a bunch of stuff that's actually so delicious. But my favorite is Korean food. I love and I'll die for Korean food.
I haven't found a Korean place because there's a
Yeah,
there's
I
a
heard about,
Chinese.
but I've never been in one in SA before.
I have
Yeah.
exactly. I've been trying to look because like I love ramen. I know they're not that Korean, but yeah. And then there's a Chinese restaurant in Melbourne, 27 boxes. So that's where like I tried, but Korean I haven't seen it.
I must find a place.
Yeah,
Definitely find a place.
definitely. And how was your experience performing in like bars and nightclubs and festivals?
Wow, it's always a great experience because people enjoy the music on a different level, you know. And when, especially if you know that people would be familiar with the music that you're gonna play, you pump it as much as possible to them, and the acceptance is amazing. So it's always been a feed of the energy, and performing overseas is so different because people don't warm up overseas. As soon as you hit your first song, the party starts. You know, so the energy is quite, it's bouncing off each other because as you perform, you are bouncing off the energy of the crowd, and the crowd is bouncing off the energy. So it's very light performing in these, especially overseas.
Yeah.
You know? So,
That sounds really cool. And how's the experience now that you're back in SA?
It's quite the same, I guess. But people are still a little bit shaky to start, you know, like get up and dance and yeah. But it's nice. I've developed this thing where I when I do start performing, it's from me, you know. It goes within and it has to shine out.
Yeah.
So I try, if I see the crowd is a little bit bored or whatever, then I try to push my light from inside and see, and it's been working well, so it's cool. Get the people going, get the people up, because I think if they see you passionate and enjoying what you do, then there is no stopping them from enjoying the whole session, because if you enjoying it, what are you enjoying, you know?
And that's what I always say, like there's nothing that I love more than seeing someone enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is.
True,
like
true.
It doesn't matter what it is, but if they're enjoying what they're doing, it's
That's
just
so
it's
true.
very beautiful to watch. And where do you see yourself professionally in the next 5 years?
I definitely see myself professionally in the next 5 years having um, a stamp as a vocalist, as a singer. Um, Maybe not just locally but internationally as well, because it's something that I strive to. Like I said, I'm very perfectionist of my pitch, so I'm very conscious of my pitch when I sing. So it should be like an inspiration for a lot of singers. So when it comes to the next 6 years of my career, there should be like a certain name for myself. There should be more songs out. There should be a bigger establishment on my brand, which I'm pushing for. So by that time, the brand speaks for itself. So I can sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labor.
I'm really looking forward to that. I really
Yeah.
am. So, 4 quick questions. What's your favorite memory?
Oh, my favorite memory. Probably my favorite memory. Oh man, there's so many of them. I think I don't have one. I don't have a favorite memory. I can't say I don't have one. No.
Choose one, whichever one. Like
Whichever one was to see my first child being born.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite memories.
Is it
Yeah.
a daughter or a son?
Daughter. Yeah, that was one of my favorite memories.
That's really beautiful. What usually inspire you?
Oh, emotion, genuine, genuine passion inspires me. Um, something that's very real, like something that is not fake, that is authentic. It could be a picture, it could be someone's smile, it could be someone's laugh, it could be the shape of a glass, it could be shape it could be a color that shines through. So yeah, everything that's genuinely passionate about their being and being radiant about it, like unconsciously.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's a beautiful answer. 2 people you wish to meet or to work with?
Oh, I would love to meet and work with Brian McKnight and also with Sam Smith.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, Sam Smith. I that collaboration. Oh my goodness, that would be we need that. We need that. One country that you would choose over South Africa?
Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
I'm
beautiful?
in love with Barcelona. It's beautiful. Barcelona has been one of my favorite countries, and I got the opportunity to spend 4 years of my life, to just be there all the time. Every single week I was in Barcelona. So it's definitely Spain.
That's so. And how do people reach you or see your work for social media handles? YouTube?
You can check me out on Instagram, on Facebook, Oscar T Music with a Q at the end for music.
Okay.
That is my handle for my Instagram and my Facebook. It's also, I'm not so sure, I think it might be for my YouTube as well. But if you do stumble, it's Oscar Turin Music for my YouTube channel. So that would be my full surname, TOORN. But if all else fails, just put Oscar T Music with a Q at the end, and most of my content, like all my content, will pop up. Even if you put it in Google, Oscar T Music, it pops out everything. So
okay, that's even easier.
Yeah.
Am I putting you on the spots if I ask for just one line? Just one. Just one.
Yeah, no problem. I can do it. My wine is finished now, so. Well, I have a drop.
We'll refill. Yeah.
Let me do it. I look into your eyes and see a brighter day. Your love shines through like the sun on a cloudy day. I still give God all the praise for sending you my way. You're so beautiful, I wanna share my life with you. Now when you laugh, I wanna laugh. When you smile, I wanna smile. Even though sometimes it's hard. When you close, everything's alright. 'Cause you're the one that I adore, the one my heart beats for. Now we don't have to fear, God's got our back. Thank you for being here. So good to be true. I got my eyes locked on you. Your love's like heaven to me. Your touch is all that I need. So good to be true. I got my eyes locked on you. Your love's like heaven to me. Your touch is all that I need.
Woo!
Yeah, man.
That was amazing. And if they up and they jamming,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you so
having me,
much. That
Mama.
was
It was
lovely.
nice. Thank you so
That
much.
was lovely.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having me.
Thank you. Today we had a musician and you, oh my goodness, this was such an amazing, amazing episode. I can't wait to post it. Thank you so much, Oscar, for coming.
No,
Really
thank you
meant a
so
lot
much
to
for
me.
having me.
Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Please make sure that you tune in next week Thursday for another episode. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, share, and comment. If you would like to advertise your product or brand, please send us an email. If you are looking to collaborate, please do send us an email. The email is mama4work@gmail.com, which is MAMA4work@gmail.com. This is Mama Wazizwa Sibia, and I hope I'm leaving you with a heart full of art.